1993. Bill Clinton succeeded George Bush to become the 42nd President of the United States. John Wayne Bobbitt temporarily said goodbye to his manhood, and Cher Lloyd being born wasn't the worst thing to happen to music because we had treats like this.
Come baby, come baby, baby, come, come. Come baby, come baby, baby, come, come. You gotta give me loving and you gotta give me some.
It's not all bad though, because 1993 also saw the birth of a franchise that has to date seen sales topping £1 billion in the UK alone across a total of 40 odd games. Across the years we've seen many features come and go, as well as some considerable changes on the pitch, so we decided to take a look back at the core titles in the series, kind of like a visual love letter.
From the header, the keeper unable to do anything about it.
They didn't mess around there from the kick.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
FIFA International Soccer released on a whopping 11 platforms, including a bundled appearance on the PS2 version of FIFA 06. FIFA International Soccer is where it all began for many older players and was the start of a love affair that's now spanned 2 decades. Limited to international teams and with no official player names, it still had something special. The isometric view and charming sprites made it hugely playable to this day, and were probably why it was able to hold on to the top sales spot in the UK for 6 months solid.
No significant changes were made for FIFA 95, apart from the number of platforms it released on, only being available on the Mega Drive. It was the first FIFA to include club teams, featuring the top tiers from Brazil, England, Italy, Spain, Holland, Germany, France and the USA. However, the player names remained fake.
Next came FIFA 96, along with the tagline Next Generation Soccer. For FIFA 96, everything went 3D, on the PlayStation, PC and Saturn versions anyway, as EA showed off their all-new virtual stadium tech. Fake player names became a thing of the past, and for the first time players could customise team lineups using the team editor. In addition to the new engine, we also saw commentary for the first time, voiced by John Motson. The 8 club leagues from FIFA 95 were bolstered with the addition of the SBL, Allsvenskan and the Malaysian Super League, and for the first time in the series the game featured a fully fledged introduction.
Well played by Blam.
Also built on the virtual stadium tech, FIFA 97 made indoor football a reality and tidied up some of the quirks from FIFA 96, including ditching 2D sprites for proper polygonal players. As well as featuring on the cover, French thigh wetter David Ginola was also put to use in the motion capture department. We saw a commentary team for the first time, with John Motson being joined by Andy Gray and Des Lynam covering match introductions. FIFA 97 also featured an early outing for online play, allowing up to 8 players to play via modem or 20 over a LAN.
By a jumbo jet, it wasn't easy, but nothing else.
FIFA Road to World Cup 98 marked the end of FIFA for 16-bit consoles, and it's held in incredibly high regard amongst the long-time FIFA players. Rightly so, as it featured 16 real-life stadiums, the return of indoor football, proper offsides, and for the first time ever, 173 FIFA-registered international teams, something that's never been repeated. In addition to that, there were 189 club teams from 11 leagues, Lynam, Motson and Gray all returned to the commentary, there was a brand new player editor, and even a pool of national reserves to choose from in the early stages.
Completely helpless, beaten by his own player.
Hello, we're here for the live match between Manchester and Arsenal. Our commentators in place then, so over to John and Chris in time for the kickoff.
FIFA 99 was released in June 98 for Windows, the PS1 and the N64. Indoor play was removed, being replaced with the European Dream League, which pitted the top 20 European teams against each other, and golden goal matches, which allowed players to set a goal limit between 1 and 10 and then play to it. The Belgian and Portuguese first divisions were added, along with the Rest of Europe section, which would later become Rest of the World.
And they want us to grow up, but we don't want to.
Now it's on to FIFA 2000, where the MLS were properly licensed for the first time in FIFA. FIFA 2000 released for the PlayStation, Game Boy Color and for Windows in October 99. Also added were leagues from Turkey, Norway, Greece, Denmark and Israel, taking the total number to 17. On the pitch there were brand new shielding mechanics and motion capture once again performed by the cover star, this time Sol Campbell. In addition to the new leagues there were a ton of classic and feature teams, and because Robbie Williams provided the title song, his beloved Port Vale were put into the rest of the world section.
Direct at the keeper who That's a great effort, just wide of the target.
A new graphics engine allowed more detail to be used on player faces and kits, and some license changes allowed real club crests to be used for the first time, although not all leagues were fully licensed. The Austrian Bundesliga came in, however the Portuguese Liga and Turkish Premier League were removed. It was the first FIFA to straddle two console generations since '98, and the first to be released on the PS2. It was also available for Windows and the PS1. The presentation took a step in the right direction from a broadcast perspective, but they went a little mad on player indicators and such.
They didn't mess around there from the kick.
The world is spinning too fast. I'm fine that Nike shoes to keep myself tethered to the days I tried to lose. My mama said to slow down.
Next on the list we have FIFA 2002, and I'm sure manual players everywhere will appreciate the changes made to passing in FIFA. Although, it did have to put up with some horrendous run indicators. Power bars for passing appeared for the first time, and players also started to interact with each other a little more closely, putting arms out to hold off players and such. The Swiss Super League was added, the Greek League was removed, and there was a weird time with Panini that allowed you to unlock reward cards. Sort of an early Ultimate Team.
The keeper doing well to keep that out, and he deserves that. I'm really looking forward to this friendly. Everybody else was busy today, so we'll have to make do with Ali McCoy. No offence, mate.
Well, there's none.
FIFA 2003 featured a new graphics engine, which allowed a jump in detail for kits and players. You'll also notice a lot more crowd movement compared to previous games. TV-style broadcasting featured heavily and started the trend of half-time and full-time match highlights. As well as a new dribbling system, there was also freestyle control, which allowed you to use the right stick to perform knock-ons and layoffs. Another feature of note was players taking looser touches at speed, putting more distance between themselves and the ball. I'm sure I've heard that somewhere recently. Edgar Davids became the first player to grace the cover twice, having also appeared on the cover for 2001, in those wonderful days before we spent 5 solid years with Wayne Rooney gawping down at us from the shelf.
Deserves a second showing.
No, you could have been a wonder, taking your circus to the sky.
Manager Mode made its first appearance with 5 seasons being playable, and EA introduced Football Fusion, which allowed you to play Total Club Manager matches in the FIFA 2004 engine. You could also import teams including lower leagues that weren't actually in the game. Network play was also possible on the PS2 if you had an Ethernet adapter, and there was also the introduction of the free kick system, the infamous one that you all know. The EA Tracks guys were clearly working overtime on FIFA 2004 because the soundtrack was awesome, featuring hot joints from The Jam, Kings of Leon, Radiohead, Kasabian and Junior Senior.
That sort of goalkeeping still gives them a chance. Well, as the teams come out the tunnel, you'll see one or two faces today that you perhaps don't recognise as readily as the more regular players.
And the young lads deserve a chance. I've been watching one or two of them come through the ranks, and they're certainly very, very talented youngsters here on show today, and I'm just hoping they get the opportunity to express themselves and indeed grab that opportunity, because the talent...
Manager Mode gets deeper and expands out to 15 years, allowing you to switch clubs whenever you want. It also added limitations, like needing a decent reputation before being able to manage a 5-star club, and being able to be fired if you underperformed. Network play returns, and the FIFA store debuted, allowing you to collect credits whilst playing to spend on things like kits and music. Plus, there were off-the-ball attacking changes, and Paul Oakenfold created beautiful goals to complement the game's brilliant soundtrack.
What a feeling for the kid.
When he delivers one like that, it's...
In FIFA 06, Tildesley and Gray replaced Motson and McCoy in the commentary box, and Manager Mode got deeper still with the inclusion of player morale, contracts, budget management and team chemistry. There are a number of challenges that allow players to earn XP, which they can spend on things like Classic XI, World XIs, and you also had to unlock the Legendary Difficult, which was separate to the existing 4. This was the first FIFA not to feature on the PS1 since FIFA 95, and also the first FIFA to feature fan favourite lounge mode, an offline multiplayer mode that allowed groups of players to pick teams and play with handicaps in matches like winner stays on or winners versus highest ranked, keeping track of the whole thing in leaderboards and recording a huge number of stats.
Now he's got the taste for scoring, he'll want plenty more. Everybody knew what they would do.
EA Sports.
The favelas of Rio have produced the greatest players the world has ever seen. There ain't no team more closely linked to this sport. Here are the Brazilians. Where's the skills, brother? Come on, keep busting them.
The first FIFA Street game was released in early 2005 and featured 10 locations from around the world, aiming to capture the flair and style of street football. That all fell flat on its face because someone asked Harvey from the So Solid crew to commentate.
The keeper gets something onto it, and it's enough. Cool! Crack open the volley. That was a wicked volley.